everyone, Hate Mail here. Quick programming note before the show starts. Retmus has added a few tiers to the Indiegogo campaign. These are really awesome. I would highly encourage you to check them out. And if this is a game that you think might interest you, I would encourage you to become an investor. You can do it for a pretty low cost. And now he has added exclusive Indiegogo tier characters that are only available during this campaign and will never become available during the game at any point. So get your head start, get your characters that are exclusive to only this campaign, and check it out. More information on that will be at the end of the show that I will add in. Welcome to WROL Broadcast. I am Hate Mail. With me today we have M4.
Hola.
And Retmus.
How's it going?
And we are discussing his new game, Alliance Altered Dimensions. I would highly recommend listening to the last 2 episodes first before you listen to this one. But if you're lazy and decide not to, and you just want to hear about the Indiegogo campaign regarding his game, then you're in the right place, because we're about to talk about it. So his game is just a super fast review. It's basically an RPG game that takes place in different dimensions, and it's very, very similar in playstyle to DC Legends or Marvel Strike Force or however those types of turn-based games that we all know and love. And I think it's something that we all will be very interested in. And if you want to be an early backer, get early access to the game, get some things before the rest of the general public, you can join for, you can kind of pick your tier. You can go from very inexpensive to very expensive and get something really cool. So why don't we start with the Indiegogo campaign. So far you have raised $10,400, which is awesome. You're looking to raise $30,000, and we have 38 days left to do so. So why don't we just start at the lowest tier, and then explain what they get in that lowest tier and why they want to invest.
Okay. Well, you want to invest in the game first of all, just so we'll have a game that's backed by a fellow gamer, fellow member of the community that a lot of you already know. I'm, a man of my word, so I try to make sure everything I say and do becomes a reality. So you are going to have direct, well, not exactly direct, but you will have a community direct way to help influence the game, because your voice and opinions will matter. We will take them all under consideration and see if it will actually improve the game, and if it does, we can implement those things. So it's not going to be like a closed door company that just like, we're going to put this out there. Oh, we got these complaints. Who cares? They're spending money. We don't care about them. Next, let's put the next update out. I'm going to listen, and because I want the game to be successful and thrive, so I'm going to take everybody's suggestions to heart that I can, that it's valid. So I have a few perks that I'm offering for people that invest. The first perk is a Defense Force supporter, because in the game we have the Dimensional Defense Force. They are the ones that basically are the police or protectors from dimension to dimension to help, keep one from overtaking the other. So you'll be put in the Hall of Fame. Your name will be posted in there as one of the great defenders for the game. If you do not want your real name put in there, we can put, like, just say M4 doesn't want his real name put in there, so he just wants M4. We can just put M4 in there. So it's whatever you want in there. We'll contact you by the email that you gave us and say, what name do you want? Respond to this email, and then you'll be able to go in the game, and you'll see a little tiny like temple over there, and you can click on it, and it will list all the supporters and the tier levels of people that help support this game.
Now, does this give them access to like beta or anything?
No, it does not.
Okay.
That's going to be reserved for pretty much the character tiers, the people that have donated the higher donations, because if it let everybody access to the other one, it would just be a massive influx of just people throwing out the lowest tier possible, so just so they can get into the beta, and it would be too hard for me to keep up with such a large group.
Okay.
Right. All right.
Um, is there anything else that comes with that tier?
I no, that's what you get. You just get your game list, your name listed in the game.
Okay, and then let's move on to the next tier.
Okay, and it's the Defense Force Believer is the next tier, and what it'll do, it'll give you 10,000 gems in the game. It'll let you pre-register your account, and what that means is I come up and, hey, my name's Retmus. I want to make sure that my name in the game is Retmus and no one else can get it before me. So that lets you pre-register your name for the game, set your account up, and also it will put you in the Hall of Fame as well under the believer tier.
Let me
So if you want to make, go ahead.
let me ask you a question. How so? 10,000 gems in
Mhm.
we don't really, as people that haven't played the game before, they don't know how much that is. What does that get you in game?
Okay, it's very close to about what DC Legends was worth in the amount of gems. It's just that to buy my gems, it doesn't cost as much. DC Legends, of course. But let me see. I can just bring up my chart here, for example. Um, like 10,000 gems can plain outright buy a beta character in the game. Just straight out purchase it with
Okay,
just those gems alone. So it's not like, oh, I got 10,000 gems and all I can get is 100 energy. No, it's not like that at all. So you're getting a good return on your investment.
gotcha. And then,
Okay.
so in comparison, I don't know if you want to reveal this or if you had decided on it. Is $50 kind of the average price of a new character, or is that
It's cheaper than that.
okay?
I mean, it's going to be for different tiers because I feel that you kind of like the quality of work and the effort that goes into the characters, creating all their abilities, programming it all. If there's more to it, then I feel they should cost a little bit more for those because there's more time involved. So I would say this is just a tentative cost. I don't want to completely throw it out there, but I would say like you're looking about $20 for a beta character, 25 for an alpha, 30 for omega, and 40 for omnipotent. That's about the price range I'm going for.
Gotcha.
Now
Okay.
it might fluctuate by $5 or $10. I got to see, once I start getting everything in there. But like I said, no character is going to be above $50. You won't see that. It'll be like $49.99 at the max, but I don't even have it listed as that price range. So
Okay.
it's going to be all reasonable. Like I said, I want people to be able to get what they like and play them. Okay, so our next tier is the Fence Force Elite, and it's just building upon the previous one. Now you've got double the gems. You get 20,000 gems. You get 500 campaign energy. Think of that as the same type of campaign energy that you get when you were playing DC Legends to play the matches. You get 100 play tokens, and those play tokens can be used for the Rest and Relaxation Center, and that's where all the arcade games are going to be listed. There'll be an icon that looks like an arcade machine, and that's where you can go play the puzzle games, the match games, the shooters, hack and slash games. That's what lets you play those in there. And then also get your account pre-registered to make sure you secure your name and no one else can get it before you do, and also a Hall of Fame entry.
Okay.
All right. Okay, now after that, then we get into the character tiers. And the first character tier is the alpha tier. And this is, I classify these, I wasn't able to put fully the detail of like what each character is. So this is like a broad range. When I put like this is the third most powerful type of character in the game, like in the hierarchy of the game itself, it really is like the third most powerful maybe in attack wise, but it has more potential in its singular abilities than the higher tiers. Because we touched base on this on in the first episode, where the lower the tiers are with the less abilities, they're a little bit more potent than the higher tiers with a spread out array of abilities. This one will get you three active abilities, so three abilities you actually get to interact with and perform, and you also get two passive abilities that just happen whenever certain conditions in the game are met. Um, you also will get um, a background story, a lore attached to your character. Either you can supply one, or I can supply one based off your idea. And you get one character tweaking or rebalancing of that character before it's released, because you're going to be able to play that character in the testing on the test server before anybody else, at least a good month, maybe 2, 3 months. I will contact each one of you to say, when would you like your character to be released to the public? Do you want to keep it so only I can be hate mail for 3 months and no one else can play me, but I can attack them all with a character, they don't have? Or do you want it put out right away? So I'll work with everybody to ask when they would like theirs put out. And the character tweaking or rebalancing, that can be done right away. Like if it's put out and you're like, oh no, I messed up. I didn't like this. I want it rebalanced. We can do that. Or you can save it for like a rework later on down the line. Oh, we brought out these new characters with new abilities that I don't have a defense for my character. Can I retweak my character and add a little bit of defense for that? You're entitled to one rebalancing slash rework of that character at any time, but it's just one time. All right. And then after that, we go to the Omega tier, which gives you an extra passive ability over the Alpha tier, but you get all of the same exact rewards and benefits. You get your story, you get your character retweaking, uh, but now you got that extra passive ability that can be added for more empowerment, or disabling your opponents. And then we get to the Omnipotent tier, which is the big bad boy in the game, and we have only one left of them. And it is a character that has four active ability and four passive ability, so eight total overall abilities in the game. They're the jack of all trades. They can do a little bit of a lot of things. I mean, they can't do every single thing in the game, but they can specialize in where a lower tier might be like, oh, well, he's just a wound type character that bleeds people out. So they're really powerful in that. But your character could be a wound type character, but also a shield type character or a defense up type character, or some type of other buff like uh, uh, debuff or buff converter type character. So that's where this really, really shines, because you get a little bit more leeway and a little bit more things that ability can do instead of just one singular type ability and maybe a little buff. You could actually do one ability with maybe two or three buffs or debuffs attached to that same ability. And that's why it makes the omnipotent tier, stand up to its namesake because of that.
And if you want to hear more about the differences between the tiers, there is, an alpha tier isn't necessarily better than, or omnipotent isn't necessarily better than alpha. You're going to want both. So it's worth going into, purchasing the lower tiers if you don't want to shell out for the omnipotent tier. And there's only one left. Myself, M4, Loot, Burger, and Chalupa, we have all purchased one because we're super excited for this game. We like everything that we see, so we're putting our money where our mouths are, and it's definitely something I would highly encourage you to invest in now. Um, are you able to add any stretch goals at any point on this, like Kickstarter does sometimes, or if you raise a lot of money, Ratmus?
Uh, you mean what, to like if I reach my goal continue
Yeah,
or?
like if you reach a certain threshold, you can say, "Hey, we have 10 days left. We're going to give you this extra thing." Does Kickstarter let you do that?
Um, the
Or
Indiegogo, I believe, lets you add, as long as someone for like the pre-existing ones.
Yeah,
If no one has got one of those perks, you can add more to it. But as soon as someone gets the very first perk, you can't modify that, so it would be an unfair representation of what you're giving to the public.
gotcha.
But I could add a specialized tier and like say for example, uh I don't know, 10 days left, I'll be like, if you've already purchased a character and you want to have a sidekick or something, for a $500 donation, now you can get a sidekick character made. I could do something like that if that's what you're meaning.
Yeah, I was just curious. I see that a lot of times on Kickstarter where it's like, okay, we got to this goal and we want to make it to this goal now. Anybody who purchases this tier and above will give you this extra thing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and I mean that's completely possible. I mean, we have 38 days left. I'm close to 35% of the goal. I mean, I would love to make it to that goal, but it's I can see that as a great possibility. Maybe throwing a couple little things there in the last 10 days.
So if you're listening to WROL, check back later because we'll try to convince Ratmus to loosen up the pockets a little.
Yeah.
We have a couple questions related to just kind of the game itself. Now, you're mostly a one man show making this game, which is extremely insane and impressive at the same time. Do you have any types of contingency plans in case God forbid, you get serious illness or you become unavailable? What happens to the game?
Okay. Well, for one, before I even release it to the public, I'm working on having a minimum of 6 months of content ready. So that way I'll have a big buffer in case anything comes up, uh, you know. And the cool thing is, though, since I will have that buffer, the more I work on it, that buffer will grow larger and larger. And what is really cool is on the Google store and the Apple store, you can actually go in and already submit the update for another month or future and set those for a time release event. So let's just say I already released this month's. Now I can already upload next month's. So I don't have to worry anything for 2 months. So that way it will automatically push out the next updates. And like I was talking to M4, I already have the pretty much 3 years planned out for the game right now, like how all the different dimensions are going to be, how they're interconnect, the whole overarching story about it. But this way, by like I said, minimum when it starts, there's going to be about 20 characters available, but I'm going to have a constant stream of all these characters and stages being made. I do have a secondary graphic artist now that's going to help make stages.
Oh,
So I don't
nice.
have to, yeah, so I don't have to worry about that. And I'm hoping with if I get this Kickstarter a little bit higher, there's a few programmers that I know that I work with that if, I pay them a little bit for like a weekend or something like that, that I could snag some of those to help work on the game as well. So it's not going to be like, oh, I got COVID and I can't do anything. Well, I'm going to have contingency plans set up. I'm going to have it so, the other graphical artist or, worst case scenario, I mean, even I could have my wife, go in there and click a button to deploy because I'm going to already have the stuff out. And you guys will already have beta tested these before they're to be out. So you already see, oh, okay, well, we know what's coming this month, but now we know what's coming next month. So you already have a little bit of insight and you'll see that I have a plan for that.
I would highly recommend maybe adding to the $100 and above tier, or maybe do a $125 tier,
Hmm.
because you're going to want to stress test the server anyway, letting people get like a head start, because that's always really popular on, it gives you a reason to want to invest early, so you can get maybe a week, 2 weeks head start ahead of the general public. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of understand that, but kind of don't want anybody to have an edge over other people.
I mean, that's the joy of being an early investor. Usually, you get some type of extra a head start of some kind.
Yeah, and I know, and I've heard the same thing from some other investors. I won't mention, but it's in a small pool, so I'm sure
Yeah.
one of you can figure it out. Say they don't like that
Yeah.
because you jump in a game and someone's already has maxed out characters and they're dominating the board and you have to start at ground zero.
Right.
So, see, that's what I'm saying. It's that fine balancing. How can I please everybody? I can't.
Well,
So,
maybe do a beta where it's wiped, so people can at least figure out the game.
well, on the test server that I was going to do was going to have everything open to you guys.
No, I mean
And
if
there
you
were,
want to do like a lower tier where
oh,
people just want
okay,
to test the game for a week before it starts, and
okay,
then let it get wiped so that they're it doesn't continue, but it
I gotcha.
gives them a reason to want to throw $100 at it other than just the gems and energy to
Yeah.
kind of play around.
Well, I mean, I would disable the store. I wouldn't want people to spend money on something and then
Yeah.
me take it right away from them. I don't like that concept. If you pay for something, you should have it.
No, yeah, definitely that. I mean, just to kind of get a head start at figuring out how to
I
play.
get what you're saying. Yeah, like a just like a pre-release or something.
Yeah, so they could say, "Oh, I like this character. This is what I'll want to focus on when I start."
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
something to
will take
consider.
it in. Yeah, I'll take it into consideration. And like I said, you know, we'll get what the popular vote is.
Yeah. Well, I think that pretty much covers it. I wanted to keep this one a little bit tight and just kind of go through what's out there, and then we'll definitely have you back on before the Kickstarter, or I keep calling it Kickstarter, Indiegogo ends,
Yeah.
and that way we can kind of revisit, see where we're at, see if you've added anything or thought up something different that you want to include, and then
Okay.
hopefully I highly recommend, you becoming a supporter of some kind, get in early on the game, get the updates and be a day one starter, so that way you can be a top alliance, because I think you'll really enjoy this game if you enjoyed DC Legends. All right, and with that, any comments, M4, before we wrap up?
Nope, I think you covered everything.
All right, thanks very much. Have a great day. Hey everyone, Hate Mail here. You just finished listening to the Indiegogo episode. I'm going to discuss real quick the ones that he added. The first tier that's added is at the $150 range. It will have an exclusive, never to be offered again beta level character with 20,000 gems, account pre-registration, and you'll also be listed on the Hall of Fame within the game. So get that exclusive character, only 150 bucks. You'll get all of that in game, and you'll get the early everything. The next tier is the $200 exclusive alpha tier. You will also get an alpha exclusive character with 20,000 gems, account registration, and the Hall of Fame in-game entry. And then the $300 tier will get you both the exclusive alpha and beta characters with the 20,000 gems, count pre-registration, Hall of Fame in-game entry. So that's going to be pretty awesome. And as I think we discussed in the episode there will be a $500 tier where you can do a beta sidekick. This is where you actually get to pick the 2 active abilities, 1 passive ability, and you'll be able to name the character. So this is pretty awesome. I think I'll be picking that up along with my Omnipotent tier, so I can have Hate Mail and some female assassin type character to go with it, because I think that will be awesome. So if you are interested, go ahead and check these tiers out. I would highly recommend getting the $150 or $200 one if that's within your financial constraints or financial budget, because you'll be able to get those, or the $300 one, you'll be able to get those in-game characters. I mean, think about it. That's like 1 character that doesn't even get you to L5 in DC Legends, so it's a lot better value. Plus, these will be unique. So if this game really takes off, which I think it has a good chance to do so, you'll have characters that nobody else will ever be able to get again from this Indiegogo campaign. With that, thank you everyone. Be sure to check it out. Have a great day.
Hello, everyone. It's yours truly, the AB. Thanks for listening to the show, and won't you please consider being a Patreon? Let me tell you how easy it is. Head over to patreon.com/WROL broadcast. Be the first one to get the inside scoop with exclusive content and early news. Packages start as low as $1. That's less than a handful of gems. If you don't eat your meat, you can't have any pudding. How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat?